All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to make a dedicated video and talk about the Tales of Kenzera Zau director Abubakar Salim. Now, this guy is making rounds on Twitter because of a video that he filmed that is essentially just one massive grift, in my opinion, and I'll explain it later on in my video why I think that is. And while this guy seems to be coming from a genuine standpoint, the issue I have with it is that while he is being genuine, the problem is that he is believing the disingenuous nature of those around him and feeding into the lies that are propagating him about this whole victim narrative regarding the reason why his game failed.
From Assassin's Creed to Raised by Wolves, I've had to ignore people saying that it wasn't the work that got me the opportunities. No, it was simply because I'm black.
You are correct, sir!
When people talk about Tales of Kenzera, what they end up talking about is the fact that SBI is involved. And it's not even about, oh, we see a black guy, so we're not going to play that game. That's the most absolute stupid thing that I have ever fucking heard. But the problem is that somebody like Abubakar, he is believing every word that is coming out from people like Belair, probably, who believe in their mind that nobody is buying Tales of Kenzera Zau because it features a black person, when deep down, most of the reasons why people won't even entertain it is because of SBI. So let's get into this article, guys, from that part plays. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So the headline reads, Tales of Kenzera Zau, director Abubakar Salim plays diversity victim and discounts the game after Boycott crushes it. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, it's unfortunate, but I truly believe that this game is the product or the casualty of war. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is something where SBI was currently and still is currently being boycotted by a lot of gamers. Nobody wants to support a game that has SBI involved with it. Unfortunately for this game, it did happen to have SBI involved with it, and thus it became a casualty of war. Now, this person, Abubakar, he actually was involved with SBI on a personal level. He actually worked with them for the company, with the company for a while, and then eventually went off to do his own thing. So he was involved with SBI at some point, and it makes sense that now all of a sudden he wants to be involved with SBI again now that he's making his own game. It says Abubakar Salim, the director of Tales of Kenzera Zau, painted himself as a victim while discounting the game after it was effectively boycotted on Steam for having hired Sweet Baby Inc. to work on it. Tales of Kenzera Zau was added to the Sweet Baby Inc. detected Steam creator list after Sweet Baby Inc. announced in its January newsletter that it worked on the game. The company wrote, our friends at Surgeon Studios dropped the trailer for their upcoming action-adventure platformer, Tales of Kenzera Zau. We had the utmost pleasure of working with Abubakar Salim and the Surgeon team on this poignant story, which has been heavily inspired and influenced by Bantu mythology. We know you're going to love it as much as we do. And Tales of Kenzera Zau joined Zau as he journeys through the world of Kenzera to get his Baba back, joined by an unlikely companion, the God of Death, the company added. Now, again, when this game came out, I don't see anything wrong with it at all, okay? It has a right to exist, obviously. But I think the issue is, and the disconnect that's happening, is that a lot of these developers think that because they came out with something diverse, that you automatically need to support it because it's diverse. And I'm not saying Abubakar is saying that, but I am saying that a lot of developers do think that way. Not only developers, but a lot of woke-ass gamers think the same way too. They'll be the first ones to say, well, look at this game. This game is brand new. It's a new IP, right? And none of you are supporting it because you're all racist. And it's like, no, that's not the case. He made an indie game. He should expect indie results. Very few indie games become something that explode in popularity and become something that you can consider to be even close to mainstream. But most of them are indie and are going to stay indie all the way through and through. But unfortunately, he will sit there and he will blame the fact that he's black, or people will blame the fact that he's black as to the reason why this game failed. And it's ridiculous. It really is. It says, not only did Sweet Baby Inc. announce they worked on the game, but Abubakar was a partner with the founders of Sweet Baby Inc., David Bedard and Belair, alongside Sweet Baby Inc. employee and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League writer Amy Leigh Shaw in a company named Bebe Sakor Ltd. or Sweet Baby Ltd. Now, again, this guy, he was heavily involved. heavily involved with SBI, not even just as a regular member. Like, he was actually fully involved with them. So for him to pretend as if, oh, woe is me, when he knew exactly what was going down by trying to tie himself to SBI, it was not going to be a good look for his company no matter what. It says Salim resigned from his role as director of the company on March 12, 2024, after being appointed on April 27th of 2023. The game released on Steam on April 23rd and peaked with concurrent players only hitting about 287. By the end of May, the game's peak concurrent was at 19. In the past 24 hours, it has jumped to 35 as the peak concurrent. It's estimated that the game only sold between 11,800 and 14,900 units. Now, I will say 14,000 units for an indie game is not bad at all, okay? I think that's actually fairly decent, depending on obviously what the cost of production was and whatnot, because I don't have those numbers. But the fact is, people probably bought it just to say they bought it and support it. But in all actuality, nobody's playing it. That's the sad thing about this. Nobody is playing this game. You have 19 people playing this fucking game. And if it really sold almost 15,000 copies, then that just goes to show that most people are not playing it. They just bought it, but they didn't play it. That way they can go on Twitter and get their likes and retweets and move on about their day. It says, with the game's player base dwindling, Salim took to X at the end of May to announce a discount for the game. However, he also painted himself as a victim. This is where I say the grift comes into play. So I watched this video and I reacted to this video on Hypnocast. And I was like kind of in the conversation. I was going along, rebutting everything he was saying. But then at the very end of it, it became a thing of, well, you know, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to put this game on sale. And the way that you're going to prove me wrong is by buying this game, as if that's not going to be a trap that's so easily deciphered. You know what I'm saying? Like, what ended up happening was he took an argument that he seemed like he was genuinely trying to make and then ended it with a request to go buy his game while it was on sale if you wanted to prove him wrong, essentially. It is so ridiculous and proves that this entire thing, this entire video that this article is based on is just one massive victimhood grift that he's trying to utilize to get whatever little sales he possibly can at the end of this game's life. It says, with the game's player base dwindling, we already said that. He stated, so I don't want to address this, but we're here now. Look, since the beginning of my career, there's always been someone who has made me feel like I didn't deserve the opportunity I got. From Assassin's Creed to Raised by Wolves, I've had to ignore people saying that I wasn't the work that got me the opportunities. No, it was simply because I'm black. Look, I've turned the other cheek and just kept doing my thing. Even when people were saying the only reason why he's being cast as father in Raised by Wolves is because the character is a service model. Look, some of these comments, you know, a few of them can just brush off, but when it's a constant barrage of them, it's exhausting, he said. And that's where, honestly, he started to lose me. When he started going into the targeted harassment nonsense, it is not targeted harassment to critique your game. And this is the point I want to drive home. Just because you made a diverse game doesn't mean that people have to go buy it and support it. Nobody is going to play this game that wasn't a fan of side-scrollers or platformers to begin with, right? So just because your game is diverse is not going to convert players that wouldn't have checked out a platformer in the first place. But in their minds, they think like the diversity is the most important thing. They think the diversity is the selling point. Hey, we have this brand new experience, never before seen before. And when you ask them what's different about their game, all they tell you is the race of the main character and the setting that it takes place. Nothing is fucking different in terms of gameplay than we haven't already seen a million times before. So if you're going to be successful with a side scroller, you got to make it something that's going to stand out amongst the massive amounts of side scrollers that are already out there and get yourself noticed that way. You're not going to get yourself noticed by racial grifting. You're only going to get mocked at the end of the day. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.